Hello, 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 brothers and sisters. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Your brother Tony is in the dining room. Come on in. It's dinner time, my brothers. It's dinner time, my sister. How you doing? Brother Keith, Mother, Shell, and the rest of you, come on in, come on in, come on in. It's dinner time. We're going to have some good soul food this evening, so come on in, sit down. We got plenty of soul food this evening, my brothers and sisters. Come on in, come on in. We're going to give a few more people an opportunity to come in, and then we're going to jump right into dinner time. So get ready. Invite some of your friends if you don't mind. We got plenty of room around the table. How you doing, Sister Keisha? Well, how you doing, Cynthia? How you doing, sister? Come on in, brothers. Come on in, sisters. It's dinner time. If this is your first time looking at this particular broadcast, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships, my brothers and sisters. If this is your first time, this is what I do. And when I talk about relationships, my brothers and sisters, I talk about relationship basically from a biblical point of view. When I say biblical, if you look in the book of Genesis, God, at the beginning of time, in our time, God created the man being Adam, and God had a unique relationship with the man Adam. Secondly, God created the woman Eve, and he had a unique relationship with Eve. He brought the man and woman together, and when God brought the woman, when he represented the woman to the man, Adam said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I should call a woman because she came from man. And so it was. Now, if you don't believe in the relationship between a man and a woman, you have what is called a free will. God gave you a free will. But I talk from a biblical standpoint, so you can do whatever you choose to do if you don't believe in the relationship between a man and a woman. But I encourage you to sit down at the dinner table with us, and at least you could still get some of the good soul food that I'm about to serve, okay? Now, with that said, we are going to get into tonight's content. Tonight's content is God will show a woman signs that she is in a relationship with the wrong man. Again, tonight's content is God will show a woman signs that she is in a relationship with the wrong man. Now, when I say God will show a woman, I'm not talking about women in general. I'm going to break it down to what type of woman I'm talking about. I am talking about, how you doing, Sister Flo? I am talking about a woman that has a relationship with God through his son, Jesus. I'm talking to God's daughters. Every woman is not God's daughter, okay? So I'm talking to those of you, single and married, single sisters and married sisters, those of you that are a daughter of God. I'm not talking about worldly women. This is specifically for you sisters that claim to be a follower of Christ, okay? This is the audience that I'm talking to. So you brothers, listen to me also. You brothers, I want you to let the ladies come and sit at the table first, and then you get your seat or you sit around the table, brothers, okay? I talk to my brother. Now, other men, sister, the men that I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the brothers. When I said the brother, I'm not talking about those legitimate brothers that's the sons of God. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking about these worldly men. So I'm specifically telling you who I'm talking about. Godly sisters, this is directed at you. Godly brothers, I want you to enjoy the meal because I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the worldly men. So since we got that established, let me go to God's word. When we go to Proverbs 31:10, again, at Proverbs 31:10, it say, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. That's the question that King Solomon put out there. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above ruby. Now, what is a virtuous woman? A virtuous woman is none other than a daughter of God. A virtuous woman is not a worldly woman. There is a distinct difference between a daughter of God, a virtuous woman, and a worldly woman. Okay? God hides jewels out there among mankind. What do I mean by that? When you're really looking for a diamond, you cannot find no diamond just on the surface. You have to dig for a diamond. Diamonds have value. You understand? How you doing, Sister Monica? It's just like this. And I have used this illustration before. When a man desire a real good woman, how you doing, Sister Nash? When a man really desire a good woman, he is either a scuba diver or he's a surfer, okay? He's a scuba diver or a surfer. What does a surfer do? A surfer is only interested in getting on top of the ocean, swimming out on top of that board and trying to hang 10. Temporary thrills. That's the worldly man. A scuba diver is a man that put on the equipment so he could go up under the ocean and discover treasures. Okay? Godly men wear scuba gear and they go down deep. Worldly men are shallow and they try to catch that high tide. Worldly men do not know what it's like to go look searching for treasure. Sisters, single sister and married sisters, if you are a daughter of God, you are a virtuous woman. However, being a virtuous woman, sometimes you sister, you mingle with worldly men. You mingle with worldly men. That's why a lot of you single sisters, you are hurting. A lot of you married sisters are definitely hurting. Everything has an expiration date. Everything has an expiration date. We live in a world called time. There is a beginning and there is an end. Since everything have an expiration date, for example, some of you sisters, you go to the store and you get something that you really want to snack on. You go to the store, sister, and it's something that you really want to snack on every now and then, right? Your favorite snack, you go into a store, right? So time goes by, tick, 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 and you put your favorite food from the grocery store in the refrigerator. And you keep on snacking on it every now and then when you get the munchies, right? But you ignore the expiration date. You ignore the expiration date. The question is, sister, who is responsible for ignoring the expiration date? It's no man, sister. It's nobody. It's you. Sister, you put that you went to the grocery store. You selected that item to munch on, but you did not look at that expiration date. When it comes to a relationship with a man, a woman must ask herself, if I get into a relationship with him, will I be living my best life? Or if she's already in a relationship, she shall ask herself this question: am I living my best life? And if not, why am I not living my best life with him? The one that's sitting in front of the TV with that can of beer in his hand. Going back to the refrigeration. Some of you sisters, you were exposed to a worldly man. You were snacking with a worldly man. But you ignored the expiration date. You kept nipping and nipping and nipping, and you started getting sick. You wonder why you're getting sick, because there's an expiration date when you're supposed to throw that item away. That's what some of you sisters need to understand. When you come to these worldly men, you got to throw him away because he has an expiration date. Now, we are going to address you single sisters, you godly single sisters, and then we're going to get to you married sisters, godly sisters. I'm talking to you sisters tonight, okay? Now, but before we get really into it, let's go all the way back to the Garden of Eden. Let's go back. Let's step into time. Let's go back to the future. Let's go back to Eve. The scene is Eve and the serpent. Eve and the serpent. Eve had a conversation. Eve, first of all, she had a conversation with God, right? She had a conversation with God. And then she had a conversation with a godly man, Adam. Let's take Adam out of the equation because we're going to talk about Eve and this serpent, right? Eve got into a conversation with a serpent, which we know as Satan. He appealed to Eve. He appealed to Eve in a lot of ways. He was smooth. He was calculating. He was cunning. He was subtle. He was a master of deception. Eve got into a conversation with Satan. Like some of you single sisters, you are currently into a conversation with one of Satan's sons and you don't want to admit it. Some of you married sisters have married one of Satan's sons. You single sister, there's hope. You married sister, there's possibly hope. You single sisters, I'm going to get to you shortly, and then you married sister, don't get pissed off because I'm going to talk to you because you should have known better. In Proverbs 12:4, Proverbs 12:4, an excellent wife is a crown, but she who bringeth shame is like the rottenness of a bone. Now, when a godly man find a woman, he knows that she will be a crown to him. A godly man was showing a woman a worldly woman because she would bring shame to him and she would be rotten to his bone. So sister, you single sister, you got to understand this. You have the capacity to be an excellent wife. It just depends on who you say I do to. Some of you single sisters are about to get into a relationship with, or some of you married sisters, you made a heartfelt mistake and you married the wrong man. And now you paying for it right now. But there's hope now, you married sisters, okay? There's hope. There's slight hope. Now, some of you singles, sisters, you are entertaining Satan's sons. Or some of you single sisters, you are entertaining more than one of Satan's sons you're trying to be slick, okay? And some of you married sister, like I said, you have married one of Satan's sons. Now God will show a woman, a godly woman, signs that she is in a relationship with the wrong man. Single sisters, this is how God would do it. Listen up. Do not hear me. Listen up. Here are some signs, sister, that God will show you, and you have to be able to use what is called your discernment. You understand? If you have the Spirit of God in you, single sisters, you cannot ignore it. Some people would call it female intuition. Worldly women go by female intuition. Godly women do not go by no intuition. Godly women go by the Spirit of God and utilize that discernment. Some of you single sisters, let me tell you what you're equipped with. You equipped when you got Jesus in your life yourselves, okay? You have Jesus in you. Jesus will show you how to use your wisdom. Jesus will show you how to use the knowledge that you have by his wisdom, right? He will give you understanding, and he will give you understanding so you can discern what type of man is in front of you. Number one, this is the most important thing some of you single sisters need to know. From the rip, when a man come to you and start talking to you, the first thing you need to know besides where he worked, because some of you sisters, we can expect worldly women to ask a man what you do. It ain't about what you do. It's about who you know. You sister is imperative. It's important that does this man have a relationship with God? I could stop right there. Single sisters, ask yourself this question. Does this man have a relationship with God? If this man have a relationship with God, he will have fruits. If a man have a relationship with God, he cannot hide it. You can't hide light. You can't, even when the sun is up, even when they say it's going to be an eclipse in the sky, you cannot hide light. What you can do, you can block the light, but you can't hide it. Darkness cannot blot out light. Sister, you are light. You are the salt of the earth because you have a relationship with God. Therefore, I can understand if a worldly woman get herself in trouble because she is driven by the lust of the world. Worldly women, they are driven by lust. That's why they ask men what you do. Worldly women are only interested in material things. You understand, you single sister? Worldly women interested in worldly things. Their conversation is worldly. I'm not talking about you got to go talk about Jesus, 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 Jesus all the time, but you could tell by how they talk, how they dress, how they move. Worldly women. These are daughters of God. Let those worldly men deal with their kind. But no, some of you single sisters, you're playing with fire. You playing with one of Satan's sons. One of the fruits that Satan's son will manifest is that he doesn't have a relationship with God through his son Jesus. Some of you sisters, you ignore that. What do I mean? What do you mean by that, Tony? If you're a godly sister, the first thing you need to understand, you need to start talking to that man when you listen to him. All you have to do, sister, is zip this up and listen. You got ears, listen. You're supposed to be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so therefore you're supposed to listen twice as much as you talk. Some of you sisters, you talk too much. Why don't you do a little math and keep your mouth closed, because you ain't got but 1 mouth. Use your 2 ears so you can listen to some of these clowns that want to take you to the circus. When you listen to them talk, when you see how they move, God is showing you. Your discernment is going to show you. These clowns that come up to you talk about, hey, baby, and all that kind of elementary stuff. You sisters, you have heard so many lines by these men. Worldly men come up with lines. Worldly men, I guarantee you, worldly men are not going to talk about Jesus. Flat off the bat, they're not going to bring up Jesus' name. They will bring up Jesus. Now, let me tell you, you got some trickery. You got some of Satan's sons now, right? Now, some of Satan's sons will bring up Jesus' name, but these are the counterfeits, but they still will manifest that they are Satan's sons, because all you have to do, sister, you just weigh their actions and their words. Men that follow Christ, single sister, they're not going to want your body right off the bat. That's right, Sister Keisha. Worldly men want your body off the bat. Some might be direct, some will not be direct. Because the devil is cunning. Just like he got Eve, it's a possibility that he could get you. Do you not know, sister, that the devil's spirit, if it's not him, it's one of his boys that working with him. It's a spiritual thing. The devil's sons are guided by his spirit. And they are some slick guys. Jesus is going to shine the light on them. You going to feel uneasy about these guys. You going to doubt some of the things they say. You see, when the right man approach you, you know what you're going to have? You're going to experience peace. That's how the Spirit of God operates. You're going to experience peace. And if it's a straight up man, God's Spirit going to let you know that this man is following the truth. The word of men, you're going to have some doubt. That feeling that you have on the inside, sister, that's not no intuition, that God discernment telling you something ain't right. Those guys that come to you, they don't have to be preachers. These guys are wolves with sheep clothing. They got on the top of the sheep clothing, but you see those long teeth, right? You see that long nose, don't you? You see those eyes, don't you? And not on that, you see that little tail in back of them. But you want to look at that fleece that's on top of them. God showing you they don't have a relationship with God. So if they don't have a relationship with God, this is another thing that you're going to see that God is going to show you. He doesn't have a life purpose. He doesn't have a life purpose. What is that man's life purpose? Whatever he's doing in his life, he is going to make sure that God gets the credit. He will share with you his life purpose. It's more than a meager job. He know wherever God put him at, he doesn't have to be a preacher. He doesn't have to be an elder. He doesn't have to be a deacon. But wherever that man goes, in that man's mind, he's doing it for God. He's not doing it for himself. Next, he doesn't have anywhere to stay. He doesn't have anywhere to stay. He's either living with his mama, he living with another woman, or he's in a boarding house, or he living with some guys. He don't have nowhere to stay. So where can he put you at? No, you got a house, you got an apartment, and so you scratch your head and say, you could come live with me until you get up. When a man approaches you, sister, he's supposed to already be up. When God brought Eve to Adam, Adam was already up in position. God put him in position. And all God had to do was bring Eve to Adam, and Adam had everything together. The man, if he doesn't have nowhere to stay, why you want to get in a relationship with him? Why are you trying to make a boy man a man? That's a sign you ignore it. Another thing, he doesn't have boundaries. What do I mean by boundary? He don't have no discipline. He's a wild man. He could be smooth, but he's a wild man. Adam had a boundary. Adam was told, don't eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for you should surely die. God give every man a boundary. Don't do nothing to piss God off, when God then gave you everything. This is a wild man. He might not appear to be wild, but he's a lucky-go man. He has no boundaries. This man don't care nothing about himself. It appears like he cares something about himself, but he doesn't. These men would take things into their bodies to break their bodies down, and they think it's cool. Have you, sister, ever noticed this? These guys that think it's cool when they have these pipes and stuff in their hands. Have you ever noticed that? They think it's cool. When they have these cigars, yes, I'm talking about them, they think it's cool. It's tearing their bodies down. The body's supposed to be the temple of God. So why would you take substance to break your body down when God's Son Jesus is supposed to stay in it? There's nothing cool about tearing your body down. A man's supposed to care for his body and what goes into his body. These guys that put substance in their body and they think it's cool, it's not cool. They don't even have respect for God, so that's why God is not in their life. It might appear like going in life, but he's a son of Satan. He can't make sound decisions. How you doing, Sister Diane? He can't make sound decisions. If the man cannot make sound decisions, how can he lead you? It's just like if he's going to take you out. A man's supposed to have a plan. If this man going to take you out, you get in the car, he's supposed to have a plan. You sing, so he's supposed to have a plan. Why is it when you get in the car, he have to turn to you and say, where you want to go? If a man picking you up, he's supposed to have a plan. He's supposed to lead. Do you see Jesus asking the sheep what you want to do? What you want to do, little sheep? A man's supposed to pattern himself after the Lord. When a man comes to you, he have to, if he doesn't have a relationship with God, it's natural. This is why you're going to see this stuff. He doesn't have a life purpose. He don't have nowhere to stay but with his mama. He might even be on the street. He can't help you. He doesn't have boundaries. He's a wild man. He can't make sound decisions. He asks you to make decisions. He can't make simple decisions without running things by you. You supposed to follow the man. How can you follow a man when he asking you to do things? He doesn't have no skill. If he can't lead, that means he don't have the Spirit of God in him. Because a man's supposed to lead his wife and his family. He's all about me, myself, and I. When you talk to him, he listens to what you got to say. And once you take a breath, he start talking about himself. You know, this is what I'm going to do. I'm planning on doing this. If you over to his place and you about to touch the remote control on the TV, he'll say, what you doing? That's mine. He's a me, myself, and I kind of guy. He's selfish. You think he's going to change if you marry him? No, ma'am. Because remember, I always say this. When it comes to a relationship, this man or woman, you will hear them talk that love language, we, us, and our. Word of men will say me, myself, and I. This is another proof that he's a son of Satan. Because Satan is about being selfish. So you're dealing with one of Satan's sons. And another thing, he looked for you to take care of him. No man supposed to look for a woman to take care of him. No man. You're dealing with a boy man. You are dealing with Jody, Yvette. You're dealing with baby boy, Yvette. He's still staying with his mama, Yvette. You the one who got the job, Yvette. Yvette. He driving your car, right, Yvette? You wait for him to pick you up from work, right, Yvette? He picking you up late. Your girlfriend's coming out. You need a ride? You need a ride? No. I'm okay. I'm okay. He's on the way. Jody's on his way. Jody's on his way. And all the cars gone from your job. And here come Jody, Yvette, to pick you up. And drop you off at your house. And ask you, can he borrow some money? Ain't got a job. Ain't got a pot to urinate in. Loan me some money, Yvette. I'm going down to the club, Yvette. I'm going to hang with my boys, Yvette. Yvette, he take your car, go to the club, and he buy another woman a drink on your dime. You know that money that he said, loan me. He going to buy another woman or women drinks on your dime at the club. He think he 50 cent at the club. And guess what, Yvette? He gonna tell the woman, come on outside. We could talk in the car. And the woman come outside, that car out there, that's your car, Yvette. And he gonna act like, he gonna be flexing like it's his car, Yvette. And the girl gonna say, oh, you got a nice ride. You wanna ride in it? You wanna ride? What you do? Oh, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. Line 9. Those are a few signs. I could get some of you single sisters, but the bottom line, you single sister, is this. I gave you a few signs, but the number one sign I'm giving you, if the man doesn't have a relationship with God, everything else is out of the window. The first and foremost thing, remember that, my single sister, does this man have a relationship with God? If he have a relationship with God, he cannot hide it. There's no way you can have a relationship with God and you keep it on the wraps. You're going to talk about Jesus. Your lifestyle is going to be about Jesus. Even though it's an imperfect man, he may fall sometime, but his lifestyle is going to be about Jesus. They're not saying he won't make no mistakes. You understand? But he cannot be able to hold in. And I have told you some sisters like this. I have told you this in the past. Some of you have heard this. The man go to the restaurant. This man won't even open the door for you. He won't open the door for you. You get it. He pull up in his car. He won't even get outside and open the door for you. Common courtesy. You pull up to a restaurant wherever you go. He won't even go around the car and open the door for you. Common courtesy. You go up to wherever y'all going. You open the door for him. Common courtesy. You go into a restaurant. He have his back to the door. And you looking at the door like you supposed to protect him. This ain't no man. A man knows to sit looking at the door. All men that are men of God, they are in protection mode. Men of God, they know to sit where they could look at what's coming in that door. A crazy person could come in that door. He wants you to eat peacefully. But before you eat, does this man do something as simple as pray over the food? Some of you sisters, you date men and they won't even pray over the food. That's a small sign because he won't even give God credit or thanks for the food. He think that because he could pay $100 on dinner, it's all about him. But he forgot God, if he get the money the legal way, God gave him the money. But this guy won't even pray over the food. You pray over it. Anytime you talk about God, he don't want to talk about it. He get real quiet. But if you talk about giving him some stuff, he want to talk about that, right? He could really talk about that. He wants some of that stuff. He'll talk to you about that, won't he? But when you talk about God, he get real quiet. He don't want to talk. You go to worship service. He said, I'll see you when you get back. I'm tired. I'm tired, Yvette. I've been riding my bicycle, Yvette. I'm tired. I'll see you when you get back, Yvette. And you go to worship. A lot of you sisters, you go to worship. Public worship. This clown will not go. You go. And the thing about it, a lot of you sisters, you go to worship and you see your preacher, you see your preacher's wife most of the time when you go there, don't you? You see your preacher wife there, don't you? That she support him. His wife support him. He's leading. You see some other men there that probably married, more than likely their wife is going to be there unless they confused and going somewhere else. That's another conversation. You know what I mean? That's another conversation. If he doesn't have a relationship with God, do like Forrest, Yvette, run. Run, Yvette, run. Now you married, sister. Some of you that messed up. You have messed up. You have messed up. You have messed up. You have messed up. Some of the signs that I just told these single sisters, you seen them. You seen a lot of these signs, some of you married sisters. But no, you thought you were an exception to the rule. But there's hope. Okay, there's hope. And I'm going to get to the hope shortly. Some of you married sisters, God will show a woman sign that she's in a relationship with the wrong man. This is what you married sisters discovered when you said I do. It appeared like it was going to be all right, didn't it? It appeared that way, didn't it? You thought that you could change him, right? You thought he would be a changed man. Just because he paid your bills, right? Just because he took you on those exotic trips, right? Just because he did those wonderful things, right? But he didn't have a relationship with God. Satan provided this man with stuff. Just like when Satan, after Jesus was in the wilderness for 40 days, Satan came and tempted Jesus. One of the things that Satan tempted Jesus with was, he said, if you fall and worship me, I will give you the world, basically. I will give you the kingdom of the world. He showed Jesus the kingdom of the world. Jesus didn't want it because Jesus knew better. That man don't have Jesus in him. You know that man that give you all those silver and gold and make sure you're looking good and stuff. He still don't have God in him. He didn't have no relationship. You got messed up and said, I do. You were thinking about that big ring that he put on your finger, right? You were thinking about that. The one that you showed to your girlfriend. That's what you were thinking about, right? So you had this big wedding. You had this big wedding. You went and got that. Went and got that facial. You got your nails done. You were looking real good on your wedding day. But you married a devil. And you find out later. You had the wedding. You had the honeymoon. And now that it was time for the devil to show himself. Right? So he started showing you stuff. As a matter of fact, he was going to worship with you. He was fronting. He knew what you liked. He knew what you liked, so that's why he was going to worship with you. But when you got married, he started backing off. You go. The next thing he does, how you doing, Sister Carmen? Sister Carmen know what I'm talking about. Then he doesn't want to talk to you with respect. These clowns don't want to talk to you. When I say clowns, I'm talking about worldly men. I ain't talking about my brothers now. When I say brother, I'm talking about those that fall out to go. I'm talking about these clowns. They don't know how to talk to you with respect. Nor does some of these guys make an effort to even talk to you. When they talk to you like you are subhuman. They didn't talk to you that way to get you on your back. Remember when they got you on your back, they ain't talk to you that way, did they? They know what kind of words to use, didn't they? But you got hoodwinked. You got bamboozled. And you married a son of the devil. Now he talked to you disrespectful. He called you the female version of a dog, and you know what that is, right? It started with a B. And then he called you a garden tool, which is not a shovel. It's a 304. All you have to do is put the number 304 in your calculator and turn it upside down. That's what he called you. He don't care how he talked to you. He don't care how he cut you down. He don't care. He talked to you like that in public, and he talked to you like that in front of his family and his friends, like you don't matter. Yeah, but you married him because you thought you would. You want to impress your girlfriends, didn't you? You want to impress them, right? Because they dealing with men that really ain't into them, and so they looking at you. So you trying to impress them, right? But you married the son of the devil. He don't talk to you. Even when you want to talk, he ain't got nothing to talk about. Whatever you want to talk about, he says, stupid. That's silly. That doesn't make no sense. He just cut you down all kinds of ways. When you get up in the morning, you say, good morning. He said, what's so good about this morning? You walk around the house like a little mouse, trying to look some cheese. You walk around the house like a little mouse, like you are on ice, because you're scared of him. Because you don't know when he's going to fly off the handle, do you? You're scared of him. You look good. You dress good. You go out there in public. Other men telling you how good you look. But that clown, he won't tell you how good you look. Other men tell you how good you look. But the one that you really want to compliment you, he won't say nothing to you. Cause he think he don't want to give you no validation. He don't want to give you no validation. But you crave for him to say something that I like your hair, baby. I like that dress. You really make that dress look good. You looking good, baby. He don't talk to you that way. So you got to hear from these other guys out there, whether they have negative motives or not. But at least they telling you something. But the man that you married to, he will not. This type of guy, the one that you married to, the wrong man, he would rather be with his boys. He would rather be with his friends, his family, minus you. He go on trips without you. He do things with his boys without you. He go around his family without you. He go around other people without you. He does all that thing. Now, only time he wants you to be around is so he can impress his boys. So he can impress his family. So he can impress his colleagues. Other than that, he don't want no part of you. Mm-hmm. He doesn't do too much, and he doesn't care for you. It's all about other people. He cares more about other people than you. He cares about his mama. He jumped when his mama called. He won't jump for you. When you go over his mama house, he tell you to get in the back seat. Instead of you on your own saying, okay, Miss Jones, you can sit here. He tell you, get out, let my mama sit in the front. He pick up his mama and y'all go somewhere together like the mall or something, he opened the door for his mama and he let the door slam in your face. Whenever his mama needs something, he jumped just like that for his mama. Oh, if he got a daughter before you, he jumped for his daughter before you. Everything come before you. He get to you at the end of the day. He never do a just because thing. He never think about you. You know how sometimes when you go out and you going out and you pick out some little thing for him and you bring it to him and say, I was just thinking about you. He won't do that for you. He'll go buy some food and stuff, bring it in the house. He won't even call you and ask you, do you want me to pick you up something to eat? He'll go to the store. He'll go buy some food, come home, put it right there in front of the TV, eat it, and you come by and you say, oh, that look nice. Can I have some? Then he look at you like this. Go get your own. He's a workaholic. He's a workaholic. He's a workaholic. Woo, wee. He's a workaholic. This man don't have time for God, and he definitely don't have no time for you. He wants to say, I got these 2 and 3 jobs because I have to do it. He trying to impress people. So he got that big house that he can't afford. Now he working 2 and 3 jobs. He don't have time for God. He never had time for God. He was doing okay when you and him when y'all were living in this house, and he had time for you, but he didn't make time for you because he with his family, friends, and the boy. But he didn't work all those extra hours to make ends meet. But now he trying to impress his boys, so he moved to the north side of town. No, he couldn't afford it. Now he got to work 2 and 3 and 4 jobs, right? And then when he come home one day, you see, you being a woman, you want time with him, right? He don't have time. So you tell him, when you going to have time for me? Don't you see I'm working? Don't you know I have to pay these bills? And a lot of times, let me tell you sister something. Listen to what I'm saying. A lot of times these guys that act like they workaholics, a lot of times they be lying. They be lying. Because sometimes they don't have all those extra jobs. Because they know you ain't no check it. They know you ain't no check on it. They're not going to check because they know you ain't no check. So that job that they work overnight, they over to Betty Boo's house. You know that extra job what they had to get, they over to Betty's house. They with Betty Boo. Yeah, that's right. Your boy Rico, he with Betty. And you think he working an extra job. Then something tell you one night, I'm going to get in my car and follow him because something just don't seem right, does it, sister? Something just don't seem right. I'm going to get in my car and follow him. He said he worked that place. So you pull up to that place and you don't see his car. And then you think that you worried, right? Then you call him. I was calling you because I was thinking about you. Did you get to work saved? Yeah, I'm at work. I'm at work. Why are you calling me? Don't you know I'm working hard? You working hard? You got that safely? Yeah, bye. His car is not there. He been lying to you. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1 through 6. Listen to this, sister. You married sister. there is hope. Jesse Jackson said there is hope, but we ain't talking about Jesse tonight. We're going to talk to you. Sister, there is a remedy, okay? I know I threw down on you all, but hey, this is called tough love, okay? It's called tough love. 1 Peter 3, 1 through 6. 1 Peter 3, 1 through 6. Listen, sisters, there is hope. It said, wives, in the same way, submit yourself to your own husband, so that if any of them do not believe the word. Let me stop there. You see this? Some of you sisters that fall in Christ, when you messed up and got with the wrong man, there's a glimmer of hope. And here's a strategy, okay? Here's a strategy from God's own word. It said, wives, in the same way, submit yourself to your own husband, so that if any of them do not believe the word, that means they don't believe in the word of God. But you still have to submit to them, sister, because you made a honey boo-boo. It was you that made the boo-boo. You decided to marry that man. Honey, boo-boo, you did it. So, you have to still submit yourself to these guys. You got to do it. God's word telling you. The reason why God's word is telling you to do it, this is what happens after. It says, they may be won. That's the hope. They may be won over without the word. So indirectly, they still may get their life saved based on you submitting to them, okay? Even though you might have to bite your bottom lip, you might have to walk off, because it's something you want to say, but don't say it, sister. Don't say it. It might be something you want to do, don't do it. Just say, yes, dear. Remember, you the one who got yourself in it. You the one who got yourself hooked up in that web, Charlotte. You did it. So, Charlotte, you got to listen. You're going to have to go through this grinding process, okay? It said, they may be won over without your word by what? The behavior of their wives. It's a certain way you got to act. After you be submissive, sister, it's a certain way you got to act. It said, when they see your respectable and pure conduct, because you're going to be respectable to them and you're going to have pure conduct. You're not going to be combative. You're not going to fuss with them. If they run their mouth and stuff, you ain't no fuss with them. You're just going to smile. And they're going to think you crazy. You smiling. What you smiling about? They're going to say stuff. They're going to say stuff to you to get you off your point, sister. That's what they're going to do. They're going to say stuff. They're going to try to push different buttons to make you explode. That's some of the guys you all dealing with. They're going to say stuff and do stuff because they're looking for a response. But when you don't give them no response, the reason you don't give them no response because the Lord's Spirit is holding down that rage. You feel like you want to hit them upside the head. You feel like doing some bad stuff to them, but the Lord's Spirit is telling your soul, don't do it. Be patient. Be patient. They will see your respectful and pure conduct. Don't be concerned about the outward beauty of fancy hairstyle, expensive jewelry, or beautiful clothes. You, sister, should clothe yourself instead. You see, it's telling you the outside part is important, but it's not as important than your inside part. And it says instead, with the beauty that comes from within, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is precious to God. So God wants you to display a gentle and quiet spirit. Let me give you an example of a gentle and quiet spirit. You are familiar with, how you doing, Stephanie? Stephanie, that scripture is 1 Peter chapter 3, 1 through 6. Again, it's 1 Peter, it's the chapter 3, 1 through 6. 1 Peter chapter 3, 1 through 6. When it says a gentle and quiet spirit, which is precious in the sight of God. Let me give you an example of a gentle and quiet spirit. You all have seen the animation called Cinderella, right? When you look at Cinderella, look at her character, right? Before she met Prince Charming. When you see Cinderella, when you look at her clothes, I'm not telling you to dress like Cinderella, so don't get that misconstrued. It's just showing you something about Cinderella character, right? Remember Cinderella character, birds and all the animals, they felt comfortable around Cinderella, right? Even though Cinderella stepmama and her stepsister, they treated her cruel, right? Did she retaliate? Did she talk back to them? No, she didn't. And those were women. She still maintained her gentle and quiet spirit. Cinderella. When a woman have a quiet and gentle spirit, that's proof that God is there. You are a diamond. Don't you know how a diamond is produced, my sisters? A diamond is produced when there's pressure. Pressure is applied to a diamond. That's how it shines so much, because when they get a diamond together before it comes to the jewelry store, it goes through the fire. When it goes through the fire, it knocks all those impurities off. When you have a relationship with God, sister, before you got in God, he took you and he started forming you into a beautiful diamond. I'm talking about you sister, not worldly women. He formed you into a beautiful diamond. And while God is forming you into a beautiful diamond, that husband of yours that is not saved, he's going to be listening to how you talk, and he's going to watch how you move. And like I said, he might throw some stuff out there at you, but you're not moving. When I say you're not moving, he can't throw you off. He's looking for you to fuss back at him or cuss. You're not giving him that. He's looking for you to act crazy. He's looking for you to bust his tires and fight with him. You ain't doing all that. You holding it in because God is holding it in. This is how the holy women of old made themselves beautiful. You see, worldly women, they think about beauty from the outside. That's how worldly women, they focus on their outside. Godly women focus on the inside out. Worldly women just focus on the outside. You understand that, sister? You, sister, you focus on the inward beauty. And it's going to show because Jesus is in you. And when Jesus is in you, you have what is called light. And your light is going to disturb your husband that's not following the Lord. You understand that? Your light is going to make your husband that is not following God, is going to make him uncomfortable. He's going to be uncomfortable being around you. Some sisters when I do consultation, I listen to some of the sisters, right? And this free of charge. I'm giving you this free stuff, so I won't charge you if you want to talk to me on private thing. This is free for you. Listen to this. If your husband is not into the Lord, if your husband don't believe in Jesus, that's the first thing. Men may say, you work with Stephanie, men may say, I believe in God. Make it specific. Call that name out. It's something about the name of Jesus that rattle people. Put Jesus out there. That's what y'all should be doing at the beginning when you're single. Do you believe in Jesus? Why you believe in Jesus? Are you following Jesus? If he say yes, 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 then just wait and see, is it so? Because remember I said, if a man have Jesus in it, he can't hide it. You can't, even if a woman have Jesus, you can't hide it. It's going to come up. You all remember when Jesus was going into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday. You remember that story? Remember the people, they were putting down those big leaves and stuff because Jesus was coming in on a donkey, right? And those Pharisees, they were trying to tell Jesus, stop those people from saying Jesus, Jesus, and hail to the king and all that. You know what Jesus said? If they be quiet, the rocks will say something. You see what power Jesus got? Jesus said, if these people don't give me glory, basically, these rocks going to give me glory. That means the rocks would have started talking. It's something about that name Jesus, sister. This is what the holy women did. They put their trust in God and accepted the authority of their husband. You understand that, sister? When you made that honey boo-boo, you did it. You married the wrong man. So even though you married the wrong man, you still put your trust in God and you still have to submit to that man's authority. Even though some of you married a clown, you got to submit to his authority. For instance, Sarah obeyed her husband. Who was Sarah's husband? Abraham. And called him her master or Lord. I'm not telling you, sister, go around calling your husband master and Lord. It's just showing an example of what Sarah done. The purpose of it is she obeyed Abraham. You are, now the Bible say this, you are her daughters when you do what is right without fear of what your husband might do. You see what the word of God say? You are her daughters. That means you had the same spirit that Sarah had. It said you are her daughters when you do what is right without fear of what your husband might do. Bam. You got it? So, sister, tonight, I'm telling you, God will show a woman sign that she is in a relationship with the wrong man when you are single. If you ignore the signs, you're going to end up marrying one of these guys and you're going to go through some tribulations. You're going to want, you want him to change. But sister, if you already married to the man, I'm going to tell you right now, you can't change him. You can't change him. Some people say if a man really love a woman, he would change for her. Nope. A man don't change for you, sister. The only thing that would change a man is his relationship with God. This is a hard matter, sister. Jesus have to, and let me tell you this too, sister. Some of you pray to Jesus that your husband will change. Y'all pray to Jesus, Jesus, please change my husband. He's not going to do it. You know why Jesus is not going to change your husband's heart? Because, see, Jesus gave him what is called a free will. Do you know what you do with your free will? You make decisions. God is not going to take your husband's free will away. He's not going to do it. That man got to come to himself and willfully give his life to Christ. Once this man give his life to Christ, Christ will be in his heart and start changing his heart. Sister, you cannot change a man's heart. You decide to get married to him. Just do it. I gave you a strategy. I gave you a strategy from 1 Peter chapter 3, 1 through 6. And I told you, if any does not obey the word, he still could be warned without the word based on your behavior. Because you're still going to be on sinner. He can't knock you off your sinner. Because you're going to have respect. You're going to be respect and you're going to have pure conduct. You're not going to be all about how you look on the outside. You're going to be a beautiful woman on the inside. The key thing is you have a gentle and quiet spirit. And some of you say, Tone, how long I got to do this? I don't know. I don't know. Is it going to be a few days, a few months, a few years? I don't know. It's up to God getting into that man's heart. That God is not going to force himself into that man's heart. He got to willfully accept it. But what God will do, based on you operating on that gentle and quiet spirit, and you doing what I'm telling you to do based on what God's word, he's going to see it, and then he might change his mind based on, you might win him. And the biggest thing, some of you married sisters, you may end up helping to save your husband. Because there are many cases where women follow God, and eventually their husband come around. You understand? Their husband come around based on what I just told you. So there is hope. It's hope. But you single sister, don't ignore those red flags. God gave you wisdom, sisters. He gave you knowledge. He gave you understanding and discernment. That's why I tell you, sister, be careful about making your decision on your emotions. Because you still got two other things. You got your will and your mind. Too many of you go by your feelings so much. You got to move from your feelings, go through your will to your mind. Because you see, your mind see the red flags, sisters. Your mind see it. But your heart, that's the problem. Your emotions, your feelings, you think that some kind of way, you think that you could change them. You can't. You think that it could get better. It might not. But sisters, let me tell you this. The only man that you need to entertain is only a man that following God through his son Jesus. If you don't do it, you're going to have years of what it could have been. A worldly man, he could give you all the world's good, but you still going to have something in you that's missing. You're going to be one of those women that say, I'm still not happy. This man, the worldly man, could give you the world, but you going to say, I'm not happy. You might not tell him, but you're going to say it to yourself. You're probably going to be driving in your car. You might be looking at TV. He might be doing something. He appear to be a good man, but you're still going to miss it because you're going to say, I'm still not happy. And if you tell him, he's going to say, I done bought you this. I have done this, and you ain't happy? No, because the only way this man could, a man cannot make you happy. He can add to your happiness. Sister Karen said, this is so true. I was shown so many red flags last night. Finally, after 12 years, it ended in me getting my butt whooped. But it's on the end. He showed me. But I'm sorry about that, Sister Karen. I'm very sorry. Let me tell you this, Sister Karen. Let me tell you this. Listen to this. This for married men and married women. If you're a married man and a married woman and you're following God and you're dealing with an unbeliever, listen to what I'm saying. If you're married brothers and married sisters, don't worry about it, Karen. Brothers and sisters, listen, if you're married and you're a Christian, listen to this. If your husband is an unbeliever, sister, if your wife is an unbeliever, if he or she decide to go, let them go. You don't force them out. That's the key thing. Let them go. You're not under bondage in such a case. Let me show you where this at, so you all can know. Okay, listen to this carefully, my brother and sister. This is if you are a saved man and a saved woman, and that unbelieving husband, sister, decide to leave. Brother, if that unbelieving woman decide to leave, check this out. Karen said, we weren't married actually, and I can't even really say it was a relationship. I was always thinking I need to do better and show him better in order for him to at least give me the relationship part. Hold on. Now, you brothers and sisters, listen to this. If you are married and the unbeliever decides to leave, it say in 1 Corinthians, it started at 1 Corinthians 7:12. 1 Corinthians 7:12. 1 Corinthians 7:12. Paul is talking. Paul said, but to the rest speak I, not the Lord. If any brother has a wife who does not believe, and she is willing to live with him, let him not divorce her. And then it goes on. And a woman who has a husband who does not believe, if he is willing to live with her, let her not divorce him. And it goes on. It said, for the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Otherwise, otherwise your children would be unclean, but now they are holy. Now, this is the key thing, my Christian brothers and sisters. It said, but if the unbeliever depart, let him depart. A brother or sister is not under bondage in such a case, but God has called us to peace. Now, before I wrap this up, my brother and sister, if you are in a relationship, my brother and sister, if you're not married, this go for the sisters and the brother. If you're not married, you got to understand it, my brother and sister. If the person doesn't have Christ in him or her, that's the wrong person. Okay, sister. If that person, my brother and sister, when you are dating, my brother and sister, when you are dating, you date with a purpose in mind. God would like for a man and woman to be serious, to commit. That means verbal commit. That means no assumptions. And God wants that man and woman to be married. God does not want a man and a woman playing boyfriend, girlfriend. God does not want a man and woman just living together playing husband and wife. That's not scripture. God wants a man and woman to be engaged, moving towards being married in a short period of time, or he wants that man and woman to get married. If we do not do it God's way, we're not going to get the best. And you know what? I know it, my brother and sister, because I have walked down that road before. I did it Tony's way. And when I did it Tony's way, I failed. But I'm not a failure. But I failed because I didn't want to do it God's way. But when I did it God's way this time, I seen a difference. When I said to myself, I do it God's way. God's way was be serious. God's way is to commit, and God's way is to get married before you live together. That's God's way. God do not want us playing test a relationship. God does not want us to test to see whether we want to be with that person or not. And I have told you all this many, many times. Men, we know in a short period of time whether we want you for a wife or not. We know it, we know it, we know it. No matter what a man say, we know whether or not we want to marry you. We know it, we know it, we know it, and we know in a short period of time. We know it in less than a year. We know it in less than a year. Karen said, you are telling the gospel truth. I met this man at a time when I was just getting back on my feet. So anything that he did that was a red flag in my mind, I excuse it. Hey, Sister Karen, that's understandable, sister, because it's a lot of women that going through that. There's a lot of brothers that go through that. And me, myself, Sister Karen, I have made errors like that before. So Sister, don't feel bad. I'm going to tell you this, Sister Karen, since you're not married, you are a free agent. You are a free agent. All you have to do, Sister Karen, and the rest of you single sister, just continue to follow God and let the man find you. How does the man find you? It will be a godly man. Where this man at? Let me tell you, sister, something. Some of you think that you have to go to a church building to find a man. I mean, for a man to find you. No, you don't. You could be shopping. You could be putting gas in your car. You could be walking around a track field. You could be doing anything, and God knows what you're going to do before you do it. All you have to do is continue to follow God, and God knows the desires of your heart. Because you see, what God wants us to do is serve him first. And the Bible clearly say, if we follow the Lord first, he will give us the desires of our heart. When? It's up to him. But if you want to be in a relationship, brother and sister, God will bring the right person to in your direction. For you, sister, don't go looking for a man. God will cause the man to find you. For you, brothers, don't go looking for a woman. God going to set up the situation so you will see her. Because God is going to bring her to you some kind of way. You're not going to be looking for her. Let me tell you this, brother and sister. Brother, when you find that right woman, you're not looking for her. Sister, when the right man finds you, you're not looking for him. You're going to be busy doing something else. You're not, at that particular time when God brings a person to you, you're not going to be thinking about that person. You're going to be doing you. You're going to be doing something for God or whatever. You could be doing something and then bam, God put you in a situation and there it is. Whoop, there it is. Well, I hope you, brother and sister, enjoyed the dinner tonight. I know I did. Thank you all for coming around. You don't have to wash the dishes. I got some dishes. I got a dishwasher in there. I'll wash the dishes. All I want you all to do is wipe your mouth, take your toothpick with you, and just enjoy the meal. Just enjoy the meal. And I will invite you all back for Saturday night dinner. Lord willing. Okay, Lord willing now. Unless Cinderella want to do something. But other than that, I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. Thank you all so much for having dinner with me. Peace out.